Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Atta's latest webinar, which will be introducing Matetsi Victoria Falls. I'm Sally, and I'll be running the webinar this afternoon alongside Hayley Walls. If anybody has any questions at the end, if you hover on the bottom of your screen, there's a Q&A box where you can type your question. I will then feed those through to Hayley at the end of the presentation, and she can answer them out loud for anyone who hasn't attended the live version. I will also send a recording of the webinar to all of you on email, as well as the nice Matetsi video, which Hayley has put together at the beginning of the presentation. Unfortunately, we've just tested the sound and it's not working, so we'll have to watch it on mute, but you will get the nice sound-filled version on your emails. So introducing Hayley, she is the Director of Sales and Marketing for Matetsi. With 25 plus years of experience in hospitality, she found her niche in the luxury safari travel space in Africa, and particularly Zimbabwe and Victoria Falls. Having been fortunate to work in this area for the past 2 years, Hayley says that it has a way of weaving a special magic into a person. Some of that magic which she is going to share with you all now. Hayley, over to you.
Thank you very much, Sally. Hi, everyone. I must say it's a little bit daunting not having a person in front of you when you're doing a presentation, but I'm going to do my best. As Sally mentioned, we're going to start with our very beautiful video that we had done last year, which we're all very proud of. Unfortunately, you won't hear the sound right now, but I think it's just as beautiful on its own. So please enjoy, and then I'll go into a little bit more detail about the beautiful Matetsi Victoria Falls after that. Thank you. Great. So I hope you enjoyed that as much as we enjoyed making it. And now into the presentation. So for those of you that don't know, Matetsi Victoria Falls opened at the end of 2016. We were previously under the management of the And Beyond group, and we broke away from And Beyond officially in April last year to become Matetsi Victoria Falls independently. So Matetsi is located approximately 40 kilometers upriver from the beautiful Victoria Falls, and therefore we are approximately a 1-hour transfer from the Victoria Falls International Airport and approximately 45 minutes from the actual town of Victoria Falls. We do use our own transportation in Victoria Falls, as is seen here on this image. So Signature Africa are our support partners on the ground in Victoria Falls, and we like to ensure that our guests have a seamless experience from the time that they are collected at the airport right through their stay at Matetsi. And hence why we offer this kind of transportation, because we feel that it is of a standard that is indicative of the Victoria Falls standard. So just to get on to the offers that we have currently in the marketplace, we have a 2-night stay, including a complimentary scheduled tour of the falls and high tea at the Victoria Falls Hotel. And from this year, January, we have actually introduced a 4-night offer, which includes exactly the same as the 2-night offer. However, we have also included a scenic helicopter flight over the Victoria Falls, which is commonly known as the Flight of Angels, or affectionately known, shall I say. So this is a really great offer. Flight of Angels is definitely one of the bucket list excursions for anyone visiting the Victoria Falls. And this can be done in a couple of different ways, which we can go into more detail about when you inquire with us, but just not to confuse it with an actual helicopter transfer from the airport. It is not a helicopter transfer, it is a scenic Flight of Angels. Then getting on to the reserve itself and what all you can expect to experience from Matetsi Victoria Falls. We are located on a 55,000 hectare private game reserve. This is obviously one of our unique selling points at Matetsi Victoria Falls because of the fact that we have one lodge on that entire space. Just to put that in perspective, the space of the neighboring national park is 56,000 hectares, and there are 6 lodges that share that space. So as you could see on the video, and it really is depicting a day in the life of a guest at Matetsi Victoria Falls, you do get absolute exclusivity and peace and tranquility when you are on this reserve. Really does lend itself to the perfect, or the ultimate, shall I say, getaway. It's a perfect spot to be able to explore the Victoria Falls, but I always like to say that it's really a destination within a destination, because you are not only getting to explore the Victoria Falls, but you get to retreat to this absolute haven that is Matetsi and experience a fantastic safari experience. As you can see in this image here, we have an abundance of wildlife that has returned to the area due to natural water sources that we have on the property as well. So we have, like you see here, hundreds and thousands of buffalo on our plains, hundreds of elephant, giraffe, zebra. We have all the cats as well. Wild dog is actually seen fairly often at Matetsi Victoria Falls as well. So you really are getting a fantastic safari experience. We do not have the Big Five. The only member of the Big Five that we don't have is rhino. So over here you get the perfect vision of what the property looks like from an aerial perspective and the layout of the lodge itself. So from the air there, you can see how the lodge has been so beautifully built into the natural environment. So keeping the footprint, the eco footprint, as low as possible. And from the lodge layout here, you can see we have 18 suites altogether. The suites span across approximately 1 kilometer of river frontage. However, as part of the private game concession, we do have 15 kilometers of completely private Zambezi River frontage. This again is a very unique selling point of Matetsi because of the fact that there isn't any traffic on the river in front of where our suites are located. And this is very difficult to find in the Victoria Falls region. So once again, offering our guests the absolute privacy and exclusivity that that high-end traveler is looking for. So as you can see here, we have 18 suites that are divided across 2 camps, East Camp and West Camp. The reason for this is because 18 suites is quite a lot for a safari lodge as safari lodges go. However, the fact that we have split it into 2 camps, which are completely self-sufficient on their own, is really trying to keep that privacy and intimacy of a smaller safari camp alive. So we have 9 suites at each camp. And as I mentioned, completely self-sufficient. They each have their own boma, their own entrances, their own kitchens, etc. So one does not have to go to the other camp, and there's not a communal dining area. Each camp has their own dining area as well. Then in the middle of everything, we've got River House, which is our private 4-bedroomed villa. All the bedrooms do have ensuite bathrooms as well. So this is the perfect multi-generational accommodation. And once again, it is completely self-sufficient. It has its own private vehicle, tracker, guide, chef, butler, absolutely everything is included in the rate of the villa. You'll also notice here that each camp has a family suite. The family suite's master bedroom are identical to our River Lodge suites, which is the majority of our room category. However, the only difference is that the family suite has got a second bedroom, which is perfect for children up to the age of 16. On that note of children, we do not have any age restriction of children at the lodge. The only thing that is restricted would be your activities. And this is all listed on our rate sheet, which you would be able to get from your preferred DMC. So this is a perfect example of one of the outside areas at our West Camp. As you can see, we are all about authentic Zimbabwean look and feel. So the designer, who is also a local Zimbabwean young lady by the name of Kerry van Nienhoff, has really sourced the majority of the materials, the furniture, etc., from within Zimbabwe. So it's got a beautiful, authentic Zimbabwean feeling to it. Very less is more. We also have an amazing artist from within Zimbabwe. Her name is Helen Teed, and she has done these beautiful murals on the walls of our camps, which are indicative of the flow of the Victoria Falls. So the theme of the lodge is all about life on the river, and you will see that element coming through a lot in the design of the lodge. This is one of the interiors of our River Lodge suites. Really beautiful and spacious. Our suites are about 110 square meters, so they really are very spacious. And you would have noticed on the video, one of my favorite things is the little butler's hatch, one of the best ways to be woken up in the morning with your favorite hot beverage. In the room here, you can see the painting on the wall. I always love to tell this story because I think it's such a lovely one. And that is that there are 18 of those paintings across all our suites. And when they are all put together in a big block, they actually create a map of the Matetsi Private Game Reserve. So as you can see, a lot of attention to detail, love and passion has gone into this lodge. And it really is that a passion project of the owners, the Gardiner family. Over here, we've got the the beautiful bathroom. That bathtub is really something. It's one of the best bathtubs I've ever had the pleasure of dipping into. And then also indoor and outdoor showers, double vanities with beautiful soapstone basins. And then the other aspect of the suite is obviously that beautiful view and the location on the river. All of our suites have this beautiful location right on the banks of the Zambezi River, and the gorgeous outside area as well, which I just think is another really key point of our suites. The plunge pool that you see there is actually quite an oversized plunge pool. It's not just your typical plunge pool. And let me tell you, in the heat that we're experiencing at the moment in Zimbabwe, it's the best thing to have that. So all our suites have got their own private pools as well. This is the outside area of River House, which is the private villa. And as you can see, just a really lovely extended version of the outside area of the suites as well. Obviously with seating for 8 people. We also have suites on either side of the villa. So if it's an extended family, you can always book the suites on either side of the villa and then do the entertaining within the villa. So as I mentioned, it does come with its own chef, butler, driver, tracker, guide, etc. Our relaxation and meditation area is an area that all of our guests are welcome to enjoy. And here you can see we've got this beautiful 20-meter lap pool, because one thing you can be rest assured is that we feed you a lot. So you will maybe want to get a little bit of exercise in every now and again. In this area as well, we have a gym, which has just been updated with lovely new techno gym equipment. We have a spa with 2 massage tables. However, we can also do in-room massages if that is preferred. We have a lovely safari boutique with Matetsi branded clothing, as well as some lovely artifacts for guests to take home with them. A small library and boardroom. And then underneath all of that, we have the amazing wine cellar. So this is a really beautiful space to be able to come to either after dinner for a nightcap, or we can even do exclusive setups in here on special request. But we obviously do like all the guests to be able to enjoy it. Skip through that last slide on the dining experiences. We have a fantastic team of chefs, and our executive chef, Shane Ellis, is an ex-Singita chef. So I think that just speaks to the absolute perfection that he expects in terms of the food that he creates. And it's sometimes hard to believe the incredible dining experiences that we have in such a remote area. I'm quoting one of our agents that was recently there, saying that for them it was close to Michelin star standards. So these next few slides are really just to show you some wonderful spaces within Matetsi that we can do lovely setups. Here, for example, a romantic dinner for 2 in a guest suite can be arranged. Lovely proposals, honeymoon evenings, anniversaries, you name it. And then aside from all of those wonderful things, we have our activities. Everything is included in the rates at Matetsi. So you have a choice of wonderful game drives in these brand new Land Cruiser vehicles, of which we have 10. So everyone gets their own window seat, effectively. And the routes that the drivers and trackers take on the reserve are plentiful, because there's about 500 kilometers of road to enjoy at Matetsi. Because we're a private reserve, we also get to go off-road if we need to, as well as being able to do bushwalks. We've also got night drives. We're able to do night drives, and you would have seen at the end of the video that we can do these wonderful bush dinners. So we try and be as innovative and creative as possible on a continual basis in order to be able to surprise and delight our guests. Here you would see a typical drinks stop. However, what we've started recently doing is introducing some really exciting drink stops where guests will be driving along and then all of a sudden they'll see a blackboard in the middle of the bush with a little quote on it, and then they'll come out into a clearing and there'll be bicycles with little carriers on the back of them with bubbly in them or gin and tonics. So you name it, our team are doing it, and we're really proud of that. We also have our water-based activities, which include the river cruises. And as I mentioned earlier, with regards to the private river frontage, you really won't see another boat on the river. We can do sunset and sunrise cruises. We can do lunch picnics on the river. So whatever the guests are keen on that day, we can tailor make it to their needs. We also have canoeing. It's on a very, very quiet and tranquil part of the river, and it's one of the best vantage points to be able to watch birds from. So for those birding enthusiasts, this is a fantastic way to be able to see birds. When I was there last week, we had a sighting of a Pulse fishing owl, which is apparently very, very rare. So I feel very privileged to having seen that. And a little bit of distance down the river, we actually found some elephants swimming in the river, which is something really wonderful to see as well. So some really amazing things going on at Matetsi. Here you can see, as I mentioned earlier, the theme of the lodge is life on the river, and the picture on the right-hand side is what we call dugout canoes in Zimbabwe, but you might know them more as makoros from Botswana. And the designer has positioned these in various kind of entry points and other areas of the lodge, where the light can shine through them perfectly. So once again, that thought process in terms of the design of the lodge has been there without question. I'm sure you all know about all the wonderful activities within Victoria Falls as well that are available to our guests, and we can obviously book all of those for our guests as well, from the Devil's Pool in Zambia to the adrenaline activities of gorge swings and bungee jumps and white river rafting. You name it, we can book it for our guests. But if they're just looking for complete relaxation, R&R as we call it, Matetsi is the perfect spot for that. So I hope I've covered everything here. This is bringing me to the end of my presentation, and I would be more than happy to answer any questions that anyone has.
Thank you so much, Hayley. That was incredible. That Matetsi looks absolutely amazing, and I think I vouch for everyone when I say I'd love to visit. If anyone does have any questions, please use the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. Just type your question in there, and I will read it out to Hayley. So we'll just wait a couple of minutes. Okay, if anyone has one while I'm talking, please go ahead. But in the meantime, just thank you everyone for attending. As I mentioned beforehand, I will send you a copy of the presentation via email, along with the video, which you can watch with sound, which will also be shared on our website on the Atta webinars page. Thank you everyone for attending. Hayley, thank you so much, and hope to see you all again next time.
Thank you very much, Sally, and thanks to everyone as well for attending. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to working with you in the future.